Hi, everybody. I hope you're
Hi.
ready for us. Thank you for watching us and thanking for being there. Because of it was International Student Day, the 17th of November, we actually had just an idea, let's do something for students. So here we are. Let me first introduce to you Paula Buru. She's from Romania. She's an amazing groomer for several years. She's doing grooming competitions and she is an expert in her industry. Next to Paula, we have Michael Shiels, and Michael Shiels is from Ireland. He is the owner of Michael Shiels Academy, so he has his own school in Ireland, and he is the perfect guy on this webinar, of course. And next to Michael, we have Mathew, and Mathew is from the UK. He's training students, is a EGA judge, and actually, with the four of us, we are the persons that will help you and guide you in the upcoming next hour. So hopefully you are have a lot of questions because the more questions you ask, the more we can answer and guide you to the correct path. Okay, let's start about the first thing, and that is actually fears, because a lot of students have some doubts and fears and are insecure not only to groom dogs but also handling dogs. So, Paula, what can you advise as you start as a groomer, as a beginner, as a student? It's important that you read the behavior of the dogs. So, how would you help or would you guide every student?
So, first of all, hi everybody. First of all, I will say just pay a lot of attention on your teacher and listen carefully. And when you start dog grooming, you have to be calm. This is the most important thing, and respect the dog. So, because the dogs can sense your fear, your emotion, and if you're insecure, but in the beginning you're insecure and it's normal, but take it step by step. If you're not comfortable with a dog or how you're holding the dog, take a step back and ask somebody to help you because you need help at the beginning. You can watch from afar a teacher or some amazing groomer in a grooming competition, and it's all comfortable with the dog, but that thing comes with years and years of experience and failure and practice. I think we all got beaten at some point by a dog because we handle it incorrectly. So in our years in school, we have to learn also the anatomy of the dog and how to move it correctly on the table and not put pressure on the dog. Don't force the dog on doing on holding a strange position on a table. Don't lift their legs in uncomfortable ways because all that pain made the dogs react. So if the dog tries to bite you or react on you, it's something that reacts at. If you're taking your time with every dog, make breaks because in the beginning you have to make breaks and you have to allow the dog to get used with you and you have to allow yourself to get used with the dogs. So it's like in every relationship, if you give respect, you will receive respect from the dog also. So I know it's easy when I say you have to not make the dog to sense your insecurity because in the beginning you have a lot of insecurity, but when you are grooming, when you are in the first time all by yourself with the dog in the salon, just do the things. I mean, just combing, washing, and the things you have to do to groom that dog, the things you are secure of yourself, and take everything step by step. Just allow yourself, if your groom is not perfect in the beginning, the haircut is not perfect, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the relationship that you're building with that dog. The dog must be good with you. You have to be good with the dog, and the perfect haircuts will come in time. So
Well, we all have fears as a student, as a beginner, fear of grooming a dog, sometimes like having the dog on the table. Um, Michael, Mathew, what would you advise to our watchers, to our students here on our webinar?
Go you first, Matthew.
First thing I think is you need to be kind to yourself. When you start, it's already a huge pressure as a student to learn the tools, the equipment, the products and everything, as well as learning to handle the dog and read the behavior. It's a lot of pressure. So firstly, be kind to yourself. Don't put too much stress on making the groom perfect, because most clients don't see what we see when the dog's on the table. They don't see the small, tiny little bits sticking out. When the dog goes on the floor, it still looks beautiful to them.
Yes, and see, whenever you're approaching dogs in any kind of situation, it's all about your energies. So if your energies are very high, or you're a very highly strung person, or you're a very laid back energy, or anything at all along those lines, when you step into the grooming school and you go for your first initial day, your first day in the school, it's very daunting for students and it's very scary. And once you get in there, the tutors always go around and they will get you on board and show you all the ins and outs of how to handle dogs, what's the correct leads to use, how do you lift the dog correctly, moving and handling of the joints and doing things like that. Stand, pay close attention, and also ask a million questions. Don't be afraid to say, oh God, I feel stupid if I ask that question, or is it not irrelevant? Ask millions of questions, because when you're stepping into this big world of dog grooming, it isn't an easy step. It's one of the hardest things you could do. But also, if you pick the correct schools to go to, because there's people out there teaching, and there's people teaching stuff that they well, whatever, it's along those lines. Your energies is most important part whenever you're just about to put your hands on the dog, because if you're hyped and you're scared or you're anxious or anything, that dog's going to feel exactly the same. You have to be nice and calm and relaxed. Calming sprays, do all those things to help you, and everything should go smoothly along that line.
Yeah, for sure. But it's not that easy. We all was a beginner. You all was scared of grooming a dog, of washing a dog, of brushing a dog, of drying a dog. So it's normal that in the beginning we feel insecure. Also, the dog feels that. So it's not easy. But also to scissor a dog. I see as a teacher, the moment they pick up the scissor, that they feel scared that they would hurt the dog. Can you guide some tips about the first thing when you start scissoring a dog, that you feel more secure? Is it sometimes the way you hold it, or you hold the scissor, or what tips would you give to our students?
For me, when my students learn, the most important thing we start with is a model dog. Not enough students start with practicing on a model dog, because that's where you can make your mistakes, you can take the chunks out, and it doesn't matter. It's not important. I think that's a great place to start, with learning to scissor and choosing the right size of scissor for your hand. Our industry is mostly women, and they are sometimes like magpies, attracted to beautiful scissors, to nice colors or to nice patterns. But sometimes those scissors are not the right size or shape for their fingers. So they need to see a specialist, you know, who understands that trans groom, who can advise them on the right scissor for them.
Michael, do you
Yeah,
have some?
all this is
Paula?
I have yeah, I have to complete Matthew because I struggle with this. When I started, my hand it's really, really small, and I always had problems with the scissor, and I said, oh, I'm doing something wrong because it doesn't cut correctly. But I practice in school, and I do the exercises, but I wasn't told, yeah, your hands are small, you have to these scissors are good for you. So now I have the right scissoring, it's easy, smoothly. So yeah, the right tools for the right hand, the right scissor, it's important. And another thing, when you start grooming, my biggest fear was with the scissors to cut on the bichons, on the shih tzus, on the nose, under the eyes. So I was terrified for like 3 months just to groom that part. So it's normal to, because my hands were like, okay, I couldn't open and close the scissor correctly because it was too big for my hand. Although it was a short scissor, the blades were short, but the handle was long. So it was, so yeah, see a specialist for the scissor. Ask, as Michael said, always ask. I was asking my teachers all kind of things, even when he goes to the bathroom. So I was a med student from that point of view. But yeah, you should always ask questions because we always have something new to learn. I think all of us here are always learning. I'm taking classes after classes, courses after courses. I just finished a master's degrees. Now I'm doing another one in dog behavior. So I always I it's never, oh, this is it, now I know everything. No, in this I think in all line of work we always have something to learn. So don't be afraid to ask and to learn, and because we are constantly evolving.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. A dog on the table. I had a class on Saturday, and there are some freak out dogs, and a student feels itself insecure and don't know how to handle. We are, as a teacher, are always there to help them, but reading the behavior of a dog in the bathtub, on the table, putting the dog secure on the table. What would you advise the first time you put a dog on the table as a student? What would you advise, Michael?
Well, what I would do with my students is once we get the dog, we pick the dog that they're going to use on that day. We try and pick a dog that's not very naughty, but sometimes we do have dogs that can be very naughty. And the first thing we do is we put them on the table, and we get the student to stand there with the dog, and they handle the dog. We show them how to handle the dog. We could be there 10 minutes, we could be there 15 minutes, petting the dog, taking the brush to the dog, doing things like that. Just before the bath, we always give it a wee pre-brush, just to get the dog used to the student handling the dog. Always the student is told, never leave the dog unattended, and always have one hand on the dog at all times, giving it your energy to make and see that you're calm. So what we do is we give them then that 10-15 minutes pre-bath, so that they get to handle the dog, brush the dog, pet the dog, get the dog to relax into their way of energies and things like that. Because, you know, once they get them dogs and they get them on the table, it's like, oh God, what do I do here? And they get anxious about it, they get feared, and then the dog gets feared. So it's all about the, what's that there? Sorry, I seen something come up there. It's all about you spending that wee bit of time with the dog prior to grooming it, and spending that wee bit of time, you know, just even petting the dog and holding it, making sure that that dog feels safe in your arms and your hands. And then the dog will let you work with it. Hopefully, 9 times out of 10 it works.
How did you act on naughty behavior, Mathew, from a dog on the table when he's not that sweet, or actually he's maybe scared?
Yeah, I think it's very difficult because a lot of people who started a long time ago were trained in a different way to the way we do it now. So a long time ago, it was to force the dogs into submitting and behaving. But we learned quite quickly that that isn't the right way to do it. So for now, when you have students, they need to learn when they can say no, when to send the dog home. The biggest concern with students is the pressure they feel sometimes from the owners to do a job, to take a dog or to groom a dog that isn't always safe to be around, that needs a more advanced, capable handler. So they need to be able to either send them to somebody else or work with them very slowly and not try to do everything in one short time. But of course, that's very difficult if you're only charging 40 euros and spending 3 hours on a dog that's aggressive. For me, I prefer to go a little bit slower. I don't like using muzzles. I would prefer to use the plastic cones instead, because a lot of dogs try to scratch the muzzles off. We use aromatherapy, like 1 drop of lavender oil on your wrists while you're working. We have spa music, and I think just keeping it sort of calm and quiet helps a lot of the dogs, because your energy calms down and then they calm down.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question, and I first want to answer that question because we got further, and actually I will take the privilege to answer that question. The question is, who is an expert concerning the size of the scissors in Belgium? Belgium has a lot of amazing groomers, Angelique. Of course, at Transgroom, we are with a lot of groomers actually who can help you and guide you. You really have a showroom where you are welcome to guide you and help you with the scissors, but also your teachers. Teachers know what scissors that they can recommend, and the size of the scissor is also depending on the breed you're actually grooming. You will have another scissor using on a Chihuahua than using on a Newfoundlander. So if you want help for that, you're welcome to come to our showroom, to reach out to your teacher, or to really experienced groomers in the market. Okay, prep work. It's actually a next thing, because I am always there to say the washing of the dog, the drying of the dog, the brushing of the dog is so important. But actually sometimes you want to go fast and you want to go maybe too fast. So prepping a dog, the importance of prepping a dog. Who is first?
I'll go. Well, the most important part of your grooming is your prep work. It is 80% of any groom at all. So what you've got to do is get that dog squeaky clean, coat perfect, ready for grooming. If you see any other trade in the country, like builders, painters, plumbers, their prep work takes the longest before they can do any kind of cutting on a dog or any kind of work that they have to do with building work. Same with us. So people say to me, "Oh, I can prep a dog in 20 minutes," and I'm like, "Really?" And I can cut a dog in 20 minutes. I'm like, "Really?" If it takes you an hour to prep a dog as a student, that's fine. It's fine. If it takes you 45 minutes, that's fine. You're not there to rush. You're there to get it perfect, and then you'll have a beautiful groom at the end, using whatever tools you want to use. But prep is the key to anything. No matter what it is you're doing in a job, you have to prep that job right before you actually go and do it.
And what is actually a good prepping? Like washing a dog, I personally, I always recommend to pre-wash a dog with a good shampoo, second wash, a conditioner. But what's a good prep?
Shampoo.
A good prep shampoo, it's like Michael said, squeaky clean, but demat, and your comb has to go through the coat easily. That's a good prep. And you have to know how to fluff up to straighten the coat. Because for me, as a beginner, as a student, you are not so confident in your scissor skills. So your scissoring technique has a lot to evolve to master it. So your haircuts are not so even, so perfect. But if your dog is clean and smells good and it's really well prepared, the owner, even though your haircut it's not perfect at the beginning, the owner is really happy because he has a really clean dog and nice dog. So all, like Mathew said, the owners don't see the little hairs go out, or because one leg is much thinner than the other, or things that after many years you will see and you will improve. But in the beginning, if the dog is really clean, it's amazing. So because after that the goes down on the floor and he's shaking, so you can't see that it's one part is a little bit longer than the other. So but if it's clean and the owners take him in his arms and it's like really smooth and nice and shiny, and that's the best thing you can do. And they will say, oh my god, it's so fluffy, and you will put a bow on the neck or um, on the head, so that's amazing.
Mathew, what's your advice?
For me, I think preparation should be your longest part of the groom to make sure that it's perfect, including like I always like to do 2 shampoos and a conditioner on every dog because we're removing the lipids from the coat, removing the coat, the natural oils. So we need to condition every coat to put those back in. And it helps us when drying if we use a conditioner to make the coat smoother and easier to brush through. Making sure the dog is not matted before you start. If it's matted before you start, you can pre-clip it, or you can brush out small matted areas before, because if there's any mats in the coat, you can't wash the skin right to the base. And also making sure to use a brush around the feet, the nails, to make sure you're getting in around the toes, because when you want that cute teddy bear finish on the coat, if they've got dirty nails or dirt around their feet, you're never going to get a really nice clean finish.
Yeah,
And I complete this, sorry Kitty, for a good, easy drying and fast drying. Allow yourself to keep the dog in the towel for 5 minutes. Just hold the dog in your arms, bond with the dog, and all the excess moisture will be taken out by the towel, and then the blasting will take a much less time, so it will be much more easy. You will not get so frustrated to hurry with the drying, because if you are hurrying when you're drying the dog, then the dog will get more anxious and nervous, and you will have a more nervous dog on the scissoring part, on the actually clipping the hair or anything else. So also the drying must take place, like you have to take your time also to dry the dog, not to hurry with the blaster like this. Just start in one size, take it easier, do slow motions with dryer, and use the earbud on the ears to reduce the noise on the dog. And to get back on the previous subjects about the nervous dog for the students, use the belly straps. They help you a lot. Just keeping the dog on the table when you're drying, because you only have two hands. So uh, the belly strap used correctly help you keep the dog secure on the table, so it's less more accidents, and you are also be much more secure because the dog is there, it's held by the belly strap on the table, so it's another hand.
Yeah, as a teacher, and I come to the washing part again. I always say, if I have groomers or students, particular students, I say always use power when you wash a dog. Sometimes they are way too gentle and they don't touch the skin. What is your advice about your structure for washing a dog? Because washing a dog, drying a dog, brushing a dog, for me, it's all about structure.
Yeah, having the same routine every time, having a structure and a routine of bathing. So I always start like, we have a hydro bath with the high power pumping, so that makes it easier, of course. But when you're a student, you might just have the normal bath using the shampoo in the mixing bottle. Then I would prepare 2 mixing bottles with shampoo and 1 with conditioner, because sometimes 1 bottle won't be enough, and it's better to have them ready, prepared before you start. Things like cotton pads for cleaning the ears whilst the dog's in the bath. Having all your equipment prepared, ready before you start will make it easier, and follow the same routine every single time. Don't change it.
Michael, what's your advice?
Well, mine would be, once we get them in the bath, we're always using the shampoos. I use a degrease. What is going on? There's echo. I use a degreasing shampoo to start with, so really strong, something to take all the dirt out, really, really strong shampoo. And then we use a nice combination shampoo with the conditioner. And we don't necessarily use conditioners, because I find that if we're using conditioners in coat, we find it a lot harder, a lot longer to dry. So we only use the conditioners that are already in the shampoo. So we'll use the Chris Christian shampoo and things like that. And it's a fantastic shampoo for just washing the dog. Always start from the bottom up. Leave the head to last. Never ever put the head back and rub the shampoo around the dog's eyes. Keep it forward and wash it down the ways, because the dog has a natural visor on their coat, and it's more waterproof, and it'll stop it from getting into their eyes. Also, rinse the dog's head first. Then, whenever you've shampooed, everything finishes at the head. Start from the feet to the head, and then when you're finished with your shampoo, your first one, rinse the face first, rinse the eyes, get right around the eyes, and then around the ears and things like that, and get right down into the ears if you have to. If the dog's ears are really dirty, making sure that you wash 2 or 3 times on the ears, get the grease out of it. It is very important, and we always start from the bottom up. Work from the bottom up to make sure that we don't harm the dog's eyes, because 9 times out of 10, when you're students get dogs in baths and they don't realize that they're doing it, but whenever you get the dog out of the bath, red eyes, because the shampoo's got into the eyes, it can annoy the eye, and then the dog will scratch. You've got to be very careful with the eyes, and always start at the bottom, work your way up. Head last at all times. 2 or 3 washes if you have to. That's what we would advise.
And you keep the same structure for drying a dog, or is that different?
Whenever we're drying the dogs, we use a chamois in the bath to just take all the excess water off, and then we use a house towel, an old towel from home, right? And they're fantastic. We just dry the dog completely. As Paula says, keep the dog wrapped in the towel, so you just take all the moisture off the dog as much as you can. Then when we're starting to dry the dog, we start at the back end of the dog, so that they're not scared. They're like, oh no, you get the back end dried first. You do it in sections. Take your time, go slow. Start your back legs, work your way forward. Do one side, do the other side, head last. Okay, and always the head last, because the blaster, once you get to the head, the dog's going to freak out. and you turn the blaster down low, keep it really close to the skin, and blast it nice and easy, and that'll help you with your drying. It'll be a lot faster for you as well, taking it in sections. An old house towel or any kind of towel that you can think of is the best thing for just lifting that dog from the bath and taking it to the grooming table to blast it. We used to blast dogs in the bath with big blasters, but we don't do it anymore because it's too noisy, too scary, and the dogs don't like it. We take them back to the table, and I think it's a lot safer and a lot easier for the dog.
Yeah, that's true. If you have any questions out there, we don't see you. We just can tell and share our experience and share our knowledge. But if you have any questions, no matter what topic, please ask us, because we are here for 30 minutes to answer your questions. So, okay, the current trends in grooming. Dog grooming is one of the most fast-growing industry in the world. Can you see, because we are already long time in business, how did it evolve? How did it upgrade it? Tell me your experience between the past and now.
Going
Right, okay, so
Are we
for
waiting?
me, I started back in 2000 and nearly 18 years, 19, 20 years coming up. And back then there was very little dog groomers about, and it was like, you know, very different. We hadn't got the tools and we hadn't got the stuff that we have now. It has evolved immensely over the past 15 years is when I started going, oh my God, where is all this coming from? And over the last 12 years of me teaching dog grooming, I've seen a lot of increase of businesses opening up all over the country. And to this day, I see, you know, there is loads of people out there that want to become dog groomers. Well, they should need and go. They need to go and they need to do a little 1-day class or a 2-day class to see what is what if it's for them, because it's not for everyone, you know. And there's a lot of people that want to do it, but the industry has grown so fast over the last, I would say, the last 10 to 12 years. It's gone boom. Like for years and years, I had the minority of my town and another few other groomers, but now they're everywhere. There's a question just came up there, Beth. My clipper comb gets caught in the hair. I don't know what to do, what I'm going to do wrong. Right? Okay, so if your clipper keeps getting catched in the hair, maybe you need your blade sharpened, or you need to take the comb attachment off the clipper and clean out your blades and things and put it back on each time. Or there could be teeth missing on your cutter blade, which is catching on the hair and catching on the comb guard, so it'll not cut through. So keep checking your comb guard, because the hair can.
Yeah. And what type of blade number you use under the comb, the clipper comb? Because that's important. If you use a 10, I prefer the 30, and it cuts the hair easily. But if you use a different blade, maybe that could be also the problem.
Or you need new blades.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Great time to buy insurance for a Christmas present to yourself.
Do you know the best blade set that anybody can ever have as a dog groomer? And I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to Transgroom and Mathew and all that, because I work with Christie's and things. They're just out this last few years. The ShoeTech comb and blade set, the full set. All you need to be a dog groomer is that. 4 pairs of scissors, a clipper, and a trimmer, and you're flying. You can do it anywhere.
And the wide ones are addictive. Since I get the wide ones, it's like I can never groom with the normal blade anymore.
No.
You're like, what am I doing with these small blades? They're not working.
I also want to guide here, like if your clipper, your snap-on comes, don't go through the hair. Did you brush out your dog on a good way? It can't have any moths. It has to be mat-free. It has to be clean, properly washed,
And dry, perfectly
and
dry.
dried. Yeah, that's one of the most important things. Okay, I have a next question.
I'm in North America. Finding that groomers are
This
so
question
good.
is quite fascinating because I
Yeah.
know when I've been to America, this is becoming a little bit popular. But I also think, like, for me, I grew up in a hairdressing background. Every day after school in a hairdresser's with my mum. My mum has a degree in hairdressing and a master's degree in hair and skin. So I learned a lot from that. And it's kind of a little bit backwards to condition, because a shampoo is a stripping agent. It's designed to break the surface tension between the grease and the skin. And most of them, I mean, the original ones like the SLS were originated from World War II as engine cleaners, and they found that they worked so well, we put it in a lot of products. So it kind of doesn't make sense to put a conditioner on first, then to wash it off again. I just don't really quite understand what the purpose of it is. I think it's better to just not have a matted dog to start with, or bring it in on a better routine so that it's not matted in the first place, then wash it and condition it as normal.
This question here says to help de-shedding, they use conditioner to help de-shed the dog. Yeah,
There
you
is a
can
lot
do
of
that.
echo, Michael.
Sorry, don't know what's going on. Technical hitch, darlings. No, the de-shedding, yes, a lot of people use conditioner and put it into the dog and leave it in the dog and blast out in the bath with de-shedding. I don't really do that, to be honest. I use the good old way, a brush and a comb and a de-shedding tool. But yes, there's a lot of people out there. So to answer your question, yes, it does work. Personally, I don't do it.
I don't do any de-shedding breeds in my shop.
You're the good one. It makes a lot of money because in Belgium you see
I
a
do a lot
of
of de-shedding. Yeah.
Nope.
You are the de-shedding queen, Paula.
Yeah. I still have hair from today because today it was a short day. I usually don't work on Mondays, but it's the week before the Christmas, and on Saturday it's my last day of work. So all my clients come on regular schedules. So that's another thing for the students. Get used your clients to come on regular schedules every 4, 5 to 6 weeks, because that's normal. So I had today just a Samoyed, a Malamute, and the Border Collie, and all of those dogs came every 3 weeks. So it's possible even in countries like Romania to have clients and to teach clients that grooming, it's a part of their dog's life. It's something, it's a routine, and the dog just have to get used to that routine. It's normal. And if the dog gets the routine, then it's easier for you and for the dog. So I did these 3 dogs in like 4 hours. So it was easy because the dogs are calm. They are get used with me. They have the same routine in the bath, like Mathew said. So I do every step the same with the same dog. So it's pattern behavior. They develop the pattern behavior, so it's normal and it's easy for me. So yeah, I still enjoy after 13 years of grooming. I still enjoy my work. I never said, "Oh, tomorrow I'm working," because I take pleasure in grooming dogs still. So yeah.
Matthew, can you explain how the trend is going in the grooming industry? Because Michael experienced his experience, but it's growing faster. What would you advise students in a growing fast industry?
For me, certainly it has changed very rapidly, very fast since I started grooming. Um, I started as a normal groomer doing like Paula, the big breeds, the Malamute, the Akitas. And I quickly realized actually they don't make that much money compared to small dogs. It's just about your client type. So we changed to become a pet spa. We don't take any big breeds anymore. We take small breeds, and we focus more on like more luxury sort of service from when we started, and that works amazingly. So it's less work, but sort of more money. But that's not really for everybody. And when we started, people didn't have like spa treatments or facials. They wanted just as cheap as possible and as fast as possible. Whereas now people are more happy to pay for luxuries for their dogs instead of themselves.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true.
Yeah.
I remember when I started, there was one shampoo, one conditioner, two brushes, a comb, and we were happy. But now it's getting
Everything.
huge.
I had one straight scissors, which was $9.99 from eBay, and that was the only thing I owned. One comb, one scissors, and then I remember going to a dog grooming competition just to watch, and there was a lady selling scissors, and she was like, "You only have one pair of scissors," and I was like, "Yep, that's all I needed." And then she convinced me to buy a curved scissors, and I was like, "Wow, this is like a whole new world." And now we have like a million scissors, you know? It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about scissors and let's talk about products. Because as a student, you see so much tools, so much products next to the shampoos and conditioners and brushes, but you see different stripping knives, different scissors, and if you don't know the products, it's very difficult to make your choices. So what's the tools, the must-have tools that you must have as a student, and what are the tools that can make your life better?
Well, for my students, it's the comb attachment sets. They will do anything that you want to do with the dog. Yes, all the wool coated dogs, all the combination coats, whatever, you know, the cockapoos and the poodles and the Bijons and all that need that set of comb attachments and blades. All the different size of blades and all the different size of attachments. Now, scissors, very important. When it comes to a student, we always get a pack of scissors, right? So they buy their own pack, obviously, but we get them in, assess their hands, assess how they're going to use them, if they're left or right or whatever. In that pack of scissors, you need a straight, you need a curve, you need a straight blender, you need a curved blender, and you need a chunker. 5 pairs of scissors, because you cannot cut the dog. A student, a new beginner student, for me, when they're going to be scissoring legs, even if it's only a leg or maybe the side of the face or whatever, we do not let them use ordinary scissors. They use a set of blenders or a set of chunkers, because then we can rectify if there's any mistakes made, or they can see the mistakes or whatever if they've made them. It takes longer, but it actually gives them the rhythm of how to actually use a set of scissors, because when you give them a straight scissor, that's fine, cut around the feet. Give them a curved scissor, that's fine. But whenever you're teaching somebody the rhythm of how to use your scissors correctly, how to hold them, what way to stand, where you position yourself when you're doing it, With a pair of chunkers or a pair of blenders, it takes them that wee bit longer, and they have to practice it longer for them to actually get the rhythm right and get to know where they're going, what they're standing, where they're standing, how to use them, and what they're used for. So that's how we would do it. And then they need, of course, a fantastic brush, a nice firm slicker brush, not long pin, short pin. And they need a comb, a nice 70-30 comb, 30 fine, 70 wide, vice versa, whatever it may be. And then we teach them all those tools. And every student comes here has to buy that pack so that we can teach them how to groom a dog, and they use their own tool, and it makes it easier for them to remember. You keep handing them stuff and they don't own their own equipment. They don't use their stuff, they don't buy a kit for coming to a centre for to learn how to groom. Then you're giving them all different stuff, and it's not registering. So it's better to have your own kit and write everything down and do it along the way.
Okay, Mathew, there was a question. Why do my shears get locked? What to do about it? Can you help, Mariska?
Yes, normally we find when the scissors get locked, you have too much side thumb pressure with your scissors. So either your thumb is too far in the hole of the scissors, or you're pushing against it with your thumb and then squeezing, so the blades are going to cross over. You can either put the finger rings inside to make the hole smaller, or you can take the finger condoms for stripping, or the finger off a rubber glove and put that over the end of the scissors to stop you putting your thumb so far in. So you learn not to press with too much pressure. But often normally you lock them when there's chunkers or blenders. Mm-hmm. If you're locking them when it's the chunkers or blenders, you need to practice more with your straight and curved scissors first, or change to a chunkers or a blenders with smaller spaces between the teeth, because they'll lock less. Hope that helps.
Yeah. Well, actually, there are like training things for scissors, so you cannot put your thumb in too narrow. Yeah. Oh. So you cannot lock, so you cannot push. You hold it correctly. It's the right scissor. Also, we have brought new scissors on the market. It's like they call the Yento Tonto, and there are different handles, new handles. So you just can hold your scissor correctly. There is no other way. So why scissors get locked is because you push too much or you don't hold them correctly.
Yeah, at least with the Tanto scissors, they're more ergonomically designed to sit correctly between your fingers, so that you're not going to hold them incorrectly in the first place.
What are the must-have tools for students? Who is the next one? What we can help and guide them?
Must-have tools for every student. Not too many. Don't look at your grooming school or your grooming academy. Listen to your teacher or your trainer, and don't look online. Don't go on the Transgroom website and look at everything when you're learning, because there's too many options.
Buy €100 comb when you're a beginner, because you will fuck them up.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I think like for us, our students have a kit that we put together for them, but we allow them to use other tools that we have in our schools, so they can try new products and new equipment without having to buy them themselves, to see what works for them before they go off and spend money. And we often say to our students to find show people, show breeders, show groomers, go to them, ask them if they would give you some time to show you what they use, rather than just going and buying lots and lots of things. But yeah, I mean, a really good comb is important.
But you have to have two combs, one for dematting and one for finishing. So you need those two combs, because they try, I saw it in students, and I saw when I have workshops, they try to fluff up the coat with a dematting comb, and they get frustrated because they don't manage to lift the hair up, and the cut, it's not even, and they don't know they have to use a finishing comb for finishing, and one is to prep and to demat the coat. So that's important. And also for the stripping, they buy stripping knife and all that, but when you're a beginner, a student, you just need a stone and your fingers. That's it. Because if you buy the stripping knife, you will cut the coat and you will just get frustrated and you'll do no good. So yeah,
I
when
think
you're
Yeah.
starting, start with a stone and your fingers.
it's very difficult when you're learning because a lot of places don't teach hand stripping enough. You learn on one dog, maybe a border terrier or something. So then you don't really know which tools you need to buy for doing stripping. And if you've got, you know, like the basic stripping knives for doing a border terrier, you're not then going to be able to use those on doing, you know, a wire fox or a Lakeland or something. So I think if you're going to either don't offer stripping if you didn't really learn it in your academy, or you need to go and do more training before you decide to offer that service. You know, like in any other business, if you were in a beauty clinic, you wouldn't be offering Botox when you've only just trained on one model. You know, you need to train a lot before you go and do it. And it's the same in grooming. All students want to be able to offer all services to their clients, but you need to pick which ones are you really good at and which ones are you really confident at. Do that. Make money, invest the money in more training, and then offer the next services. Don't rush to buy every tool, every equipment to offer all services.
Yeah, good point. There's a question here. I'm a left hand. This is Lou. I'm a left hand, and where can I find good quality, especially curve thinners and shears, chunkers? It's very difficult for the left hands to get the curved chunkers and the curved thinners. It's very difficult. Kitty, that's your department. You would need to be answering that. Where can you get the decent, you know, curved chunkers for lefties?
We have
Yeah,
the Tanto left-handed now, do we?
not yet. They are coming up. It's a
Coming.
secret. No, it's not a secret.
I think Christie's direct transcript. I think they have a set, and I think it's luminosis scissors, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I think there's a left curved everything on the luminosa.
Yes. As a left-handed groomer, I'm so sorry, but it's more difficult than a right-handed groomer. And sometimes if you got the luck, if you're left-handed, that you can scissor with a right-handed scissor. That's possible. If that's the case, you're lucky because your range is much bigger. If you are left-handed, and you have to choose between left-handed scissors, left-handed curved chunkers is very difficult. We have, but the range is much smaller than for right-handed people. So reach out to us. We can guide you personally what's the right scissor for you, even online. Michael can help you, Christie's can help you, Transgroom can help you. Every company that sells good quality grooming scissors can guide you to the right scissor.
Yeah. Drop us a line. We'll see what we can find.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I had the last thing chapter, and that's actually the fear of scissoring head styles and scissoring heads, because this is, yeah, if you do grooming at your grooming shop, for every customer, the first thing he really sees is the head. So it's all important, but the head speaks for himself. So the fear of head styles, Michael.
Well, the biggest trend at the minute is Asian donut muzzles, and people get feared. They don't know how to do it. They're I'm echoing here. Hello. My advice to you is a little bit more training. If you're scared, and I know when you come out of the grooming schools and you come out of the salons and you go and open up your own, or you go to work for somebody, the head styles is a fear. It's a fear on every student, and even coming up to the end of their courses, they say to me all the time, "Oh my God, what if I can't do them heads the way that I do them here?" And I'm going, take your time, use the correct scissors, I always say blenders, chunkers, anything drop coat, anything Bichon or not Bichon Frise, anything like Yorkshire Terriers, anything like Lhasa Apsos, Shih Tzus, all those type of dogs, blenders. Don't be afraid. You know, you just because you've got straights, you've got this, you want to do it, whatever. Use your blenders and take your time. Stand back, look at the photos that you have from your previous training center and going, right, how did I do that? Read through your document of how you actually wrote it down, word for word, of how you did it, and just spend that wee bit more time at the end of each groom. Yes, get the groom done, but when it comes to the head, look up notes of the grooming table, look up all different head styles and things. And if you're going out on your own as a business and you want to, you're going to be doing, say, 4 or 5 dogs a day, you'll know what dogs is coming in, so you research everything the night before, or even while you're doing that dog, have it there so you know exactly what you're doing, and just spend time. Don't rush anything until you're used to it, and then fly through the thing. But at the minute, just take your time and go slow and use the correct tools, the correct scissors, and even attachments. Leave the head longer, comb attach it, and then just off. Whatever your tutors have taught you, but spend that wee bit extra time at each head. Don't rush it, and you'll be fine.
Who's the next?
Yeah, I can say, first of all, what we say in the beginning, wash the dog perfectly, because if the head is perfectly dry, wash and everything, the head will look nice in the end. Because we always see on Facebook people are doing pictures of their dogs and post it, and beginners usually they post everything that they groom because they take pride. Okay, today I had clients and I groomed these dogs, and they post it, and I always see the mistakes, because when you have the train eye, I can see past the grooming, and I saw the prep was not done correctly, because the hair, it's always sticky, and if you don't have a well prepared, well washed head, well washed dog, you never get a beautiful face, never ever, because it will always stick. So get the prep work done really well. And then what I like to do for the students, to tell them, don't leave the head the last, because when you're at the beginning, you lose time on the body because everything goes slowly, and you get frustrated at the end, and always the client shows up early, and you get stuck on the table with your dog, and the head is not finished, and the client come, the dog is get all over the place because he's happy. It's normal to be happy when the owner is coming. So then you will get frustrated because it's not finished, it's not looking, you didn't have enough time, and then all your day is gone, because you're just stuck there with your mind. It's there because it happened to me. So it's like, oh, I didn't do a good job on that dog because it's not finished, I need more time. So I always advise, do the clip work on the body, less the legs, do the head, and then do the legs and all that. Because if the owner is coming, and you still have to groom some things on the leg. That's not important, but what the owners is seeing, like Matthew said, is the face, the head when they arrive, and the ass when they go, because always the dog is walking in front of the owner, and they always like to see the beautiful, sexy ass, as we say it. So yeah, take your time. But Michael said, take your time, allow yourself like half an hour just to do the face, and don't get frustrated when you don't get that perfect finish, like in the current trend, the muzzle of the Asian fusion, because you have to be aware that for that perfect photo, it looks like 300, 400 photos. It's always involve a little bit more or less Photoshop, and it's a lot of training, and it's like perfect camera, perfect settings, lights, and all that. So okay, we always strive to do something beautiful, but in the beginning we have to see our limits and to grow and take it step by step. So yeah, and use attachment combs on the head in the beginning. It's like make the whole shape with your clippers with the attachment combs, and at the end you just have to scissors only the corners to make it round. So use your tools, because you are fortunate nowadays, you have everything. So everything is made to make our job more easy. So yeah, and ask your teachers about everything.
Okay, I
Just
have a
ask.
lot of questions here, so I do the first for TR Turner. Who is going to help TR about unreasonable clients? We all know them.
I'm probably
Matthew.
the strictest one out of us all.
Matthew.
Yes.
This is one for me. So yeah, I mean, all of us when we're learning and we become groomers find it difficult with unreasonable customers. I was very lucky growing up around the hairdressing salon all my life to watch my mum, how she dealt with exactly the same things that we do in grooming. And one of the biggest important things is to be able to say, no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not going to brush your dog out. When they look for a dog groomer, never look at reviews. Most people don't care. They want a groomer who is located close to them, who has cute pictures on Facebook. They're not so interested that you've got 4.5 stars on Google out of 5, or you have 5 bad reviews in 100. They just want to know that you're nice to their dog, and you're never going to make everybody happy 100% of the time. So I think everybody really in our industry should read the book. The Courage to Be Disliked is probably the best book you'll ever read in your life. And it'll teach you that the small little things are really not important in the grand scheme of it. And also another book that all students should read is The Magic Art of Not Giving a naughty word. It teaches you to focus on what's important for the dogs, and not worry so much about the little things, you know. But say no, importantly.
Okay, what's most important, the breed standard of the dog or the owner's tastes?
The owner's taste. The breed standard is very, very few and far between now within the salons. So it's down to the owner. If the owner says, I want that dog caged with a number, whatever, all over, you then do it. Don't worry about it. If that's what they want, that's what they get. But if they ask you specifically to do a continental poodle, then fine, do a continental pull. If they ask you to do a Westie, then hand strip it, then fine, do a Westie. But if they say, oh, I just want it shaved, I just want to keep the house clean, or whatever it may be, then do what they want. Because you get the same money for it anyway. So it doesn't really matter. You charge a wee bit extra if you're a wee bit more talented and you're going a wee bit longer. But I mean, everybody's doing the same job. So whatever they want, you do. How's that?
I'm all the opposite. My customers don't get what they want; they get what they given. So, for example, if they came in with a schnauzer and they wanted a fluffy tail, it's a no. I'm sorry, find another groomer. Because as groomers, we've probably all had jobs in our life that we've hated going to every day. And when you find one job like this that you love coming to every day, it's important that you keep the love and the passion. So if you only do what the customer wants, but you hate it, then it's just another job. So do what they want, take into consideration what they want, but also breed standard is important. For example, if they wanted a Westie shaved on a 7F, it's a no from me. Find another groomer. I will do a short Westie, but not a shaved Westie, because, you know, we need to keep our skills as groomers and we need to be able to do breed standard styles. And if we don't do them and practice them, how are we supposed to teach the next generation of groomers to be able to do them as well? Especially if you want to be a competition groomer at some time in your life.
Good point.
Well, actually, I always say dog grooming is 50 shades of grey. It's not black and white. Okay, next question. Sonia, the Chichu.
Where is
Who
it?
can help Sonia?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So they're saying, but please tips and tricks on Shih Tzus that don't close their eyes and have short noses, so you can't easily fix and trying to get closer. Use a trimmer. Use a trimmer on a 40 blade and hold their face really quick. Boom, do it, and it's gone. That's how we do it. If they don't close their eyes, there we go. There's your trimmer. Yay, Paula! Paula to the rescue! Yeah, use a
I
trimmer
need
on
the
a 40
salon,
blade.
so it's close. Yeah. And hold the head really well, so yeah, they
By the
don't move.
beard,
So use it,
pull it down,
yeah, by the
come
beard,
to the
and
eyes.
use it like this under the
And
eyes.
if you don't close their eyes, you can blow into their eyes. They go like that, and then you can cut.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's how they close their eyes. I know it's difficult, but you'll get there. Just take your time.
Yeah.
Practice everything.
Well, that's actually one for you again, Mathew, because also the previous woman, Karen, asked what are the 2 books again that you mentioned? And then we have that question to deal with bossy and unrespectful customers.
They kind of go hand in hand. So if you read the books, then you'll get an idea on how to deal with people. But the books are The Magic Art of Not Giving a Naughty Word, FUC, by
French
Sarah
Connection UK.
Sarah Knight. You can get it on Audible or normal book if you want to listen to it while you work. And the other one is The Secret to Be Disliked. It's by a Japanese man. I can't remember the name. But The Secret to Be Disliked. And you learn then that being liked by your customers is not really as important as you think. It's more important to be seen to know what you're doing. They need to know that you're knowledgeable, respectable, and kind to their dogs. And if they're bossy and unrespectable to you, then they're not the right customer for you. And it's okay for you to say to them, I'm really sorry. I just don't think I'm the right groomer for you anymore. The same as if a customer brought me written instructions on a dog, like they say, cut the tail a small bit, cut the nails, I would rip it up in front of you and kick you out of my shop. We are the professionals. We know our jobs, or we should know our jobs. And if they feel like they need to write those things down for us or to dictate, they don't see us in a professional way enough. So they're not the right client for you.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Don't take nonsense off people.
Yeah. Okay, the last question before we leave. Wide blades. Why they don't work on some clipper brands?
Yeah.
Depends. I mean, maybe if you don't change the blade drive, the hinge, maybe it's not power enough. Maybe the blade is not oil enough. So yeah, you have to check and check your clippers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's that book, Fumitaki Ichiro. Yeah, that's the one.
I know who wrote this message.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh. It's a really good book. Yeah.
I didn't even realize. I didn't even look at it. I just seen it. Thomas, why do some wide blades still? All right.
The blade driver, or it depends on the brand of wide blades. The gap between the metal on the back of the cutting blade on the wide clippers is a little bit too wide for the blade driver on your clippers. So you can take a pliers and just squeeze it slightly to close the metal around the blade driver, and it'll work better. Or you need to try it on a different type of clippers. Normally are excellent for all of the brands of wide blades.
Some, just depends where you buy them as well. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you can buy blades and they don't work. They're no good. You can buy them online, and you can get them on them AliExpress and all that carry on, and they're not great. You need to go to a reputable dealer and get decent blades. When you're buying them kind of tools, never scamp on your scissors, never scamp on your blades. You can scamp on brushes and combs or whatever, but not those important tools that you use every single 5 minutes of every day. You're always using a blade, you're always using your scissors, you're always using, so don't ever scamp on those. Don't buy them online, don't buy them in AliExpress or Temu or whatever you call all those things, because they're crap. They're no good. They don't work. You need to buy them off reputable dealers that actually can stand by your tool. What was that?
Yeah, and service your clippers. Take care of them. So always change the blade drive. If you hear a strange noise on the clipper, just stop it and check it. And
okay.
Life change. All I seen was FC or something there, and a message, and it went away. What is it? What is it? Who is saying those words? Matthew, what have you started? Whatever. The life-changing magic. Oh, got it now. Right. I couldn't see it. I just seen FC, and I was thinking, what is that?
Yeah.
So much.
Okay, I want to thank you all. I'm sorry, didn't hear you.
We want to thank everyone for being here.
Yes,
thank you.
We would like to thank you all for joining the live, and hopefully we have answered your questions as well as we can, and they are of use to you, even with those 2 amazing books that Mathew says to get. Mathew sent me a message privately, darling, about those books, because I can't remember what to call them. And also, there's another thing here, life-changing webinar. Thank you. Oh, very nice. Thank you. Well, thanks for coming.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Mathew. Thank you, Paula. Thank you for joining my crazy idea to help to have this webinar. So hopefully we will see each other next time very soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.